Have you ever walked into your office or joined a Zoom meeting and felt like the conversations happening weren't really about the work? That beneath the polite smiles, the carefully chosen words, the endless discussions, there was another game being played? Welcome to the world of corporate politics, a place where talent and hard work alone often aren't enough, where silent battles are fought with favors, alliances, and unspoken rules, and where understanding psychology, both yours and others, is the only way to truly survive. But here's the good news. This isn't a new problem. Corporate politics may feel like a modern disease, but the dynamics behind it are as old as human civilization. And if we study the wisdom of great thinkers, psychologists, and even successful leaders, we find powerful lessons on how to not just endure politics, but to use it as fuel for growth. Let's begin with a harsh truth, one Carl Jung once hinted at in his exploration of the human shadow. Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. In the workplace, corporate politics is often the shadow at play. It's the part of people's personalities they don't want to admit. Ambition, insecurity, envy, or fear. But instead of addressing these directly, they act them out through subtle games, alliances, and power moves. Think about it. The coworker who constantly flatters the boss, not because they respect them, but because they crave validation. The manager who subtly undermines a colleague, not because the idea was bad, but because it didn't come from them. These aren't just random quirks, they are shadows in motion. Niccolò Machiavelli, often misunderstood as advocating cruelty, actually offered a realistic perspective on power dynamics. In The Prince, he argued that to survive in political systems, one must see the world as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. Applied to corporate life, this doesn't mean you become manipulative. It means you stop being naive. You recognize that behind every decision, every promotion, every sudden shift in priorities, there's often more than just logic at play. There are egos, there are fears. So how do we deal with it? The first step is awareness. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the world of office politics, this means you can't control who plays the game, but you can control how you show up. Instead of being dragged into petty rivalries, learn to see politics as information. Every alliance, every whisper, every sudden change in mood is a clue about what people truly value, fear, or desire. When you learn to read these signals without reacting emotionally, you stop being a pawn and start becoming a player. Now let's add a psychological lens. Daniel Goleman, who popularized the concept of emotional intelligence, showed that success in organizations isn't just about IQ or technical skills. It's about managing emotions, your own and others. Think about the colleague who always stays calm under pressure while others panic, or the leader who knows exactly when to speak and when to stay silent. These people often rise not because they're the smartest, but because they can navigate the hidden emotional undercurrents. In politics, emotional intelligence is your armor. Self-awareness keeps you from overreacting when someone tries to provoke you. Empathy helps you understand why your boss favors one idea over another. And social skills allow you to build alliances without losing your integrity. But here's the paradox. While we must engage with politics, we must not become consumed by it. Steve Jobs once said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work." If you spend all your energy fighting political battles, you risk forgetting why you're there in the first place. To create, to contribute, to grow. So how do you balance both? The key lies in strategy. Let me share a simple framework inspired by Sun Tzu's Art of War and adapted to the modern workplace. 1. Choose your battles. Not every slight needs a response. Not every rumor deserves your attention. As Sun Tzu wrote, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Sometimes the most powerful move is to let others exhaust themselves in petty games while you conserve your energy." 2. Build silent alliances. Politics thrives on isolation. If you stand alone, you're vulnerable. But if you build genuine relationships across departments, across hierarchies, you create a network that protects you, not through manipulation, but through trust. 3. Master the power of silence. In a room where everyone is competing to be heard, silence can be a weapon. Pausing before you speak not only makes others listen, but it also gives you the power to shape the tone of the conversation. Jung would say, this is how you embody the shadow, rather than letting it control you. 4. Focus on value. Ultimately, no amount of politics can sustain someone who doesn't contribute. Deliver results. Let your work be undeniable. When combined with political awareness, this makes you not just a survivor, but indispensable. So where does this leave us? Corporate politics will never disappear. It's woven into human behavior, just as it was in ancient courts, royal palaces, and philosophical schools. The difference is whether we remain unconscious participants or conscious navigators. The teachings of Jung remind us to confront the shadow. Machiavelli teaches us to see reality clearly. The Stoics remind us to master our reactions. And modern psychology gives us tools to build emotional resilience. Put together, these aren't just survival skills. They are the foundation of wisdom in the modern workplace. So next time you walk into that meeting or hear that subtle whisper in the office corridor, remember this. Politics isn't a distraction from your work, it's part of it. And the sooner you learn to navigate it, the freer you become. Not just to protect yourself, but to rise above the game entirely.